Now let's take a look at creating a snare drum sound. I've made some changes to the previous kick drum sound we created. I just fine-tuned the overall pitch envelope and I made a slightly mellower version of this. Just to quickly compare, this is a punch kick, the original one, and this is a mellower version. And that's the one I decided to use. Alright, so we're going to keep that running and create a snare drum on top of this. We're going to use Citrus for this. So again, under Generators, under Synth Classic, let's drag in Citrus. I'm going to add the snare part to the pattern. Obviously, that's not a snare drum sound. Let's load in the default preset here. Alright, so we get this pure sine wave tone. Let's now design the snare. So the sine wave tone is coming from this first operator here. It's being output here. We need to have a sine wave tone just like on the kick drum. So let's adjust this volume envelope here. I'll turn it on. Get rid of the attack. Sustain all the way down. And we can tweak the decay. I want this to be a bit lower. So this is the pitch multiplier. So now this is an octave below. Let's make it even tighter by shortening that decay. Let's just mute the kick drum and hear this by itself. Alright, so that's going to be the top part of the snare. We need some pitch modulation on this, just like on the kick drum. So under pitch envelope, let's tweak this shape. Similar pluck shaped envelope. Let's shorten it. Make it tighter. Perfect. Alright, so that's the top part of the snare. Now for the actual snare element, we need noise. So in operator 2, let's bring up this noise slider. And let's send the second operator straight to the output. Now it doesn't have a volume envelope yet, so let's click on volume envelope. Let's engage it and give it a similar shape. You can have it longer or shorter, but I want this to be longer than operator 1. And that pretty much is the snare sound. You can fine-tune the overall level balance between the two elements. Maybe the tonal element of the snare can be a bit longer. Alright, not bad. Now just like with the kick drum, we can add in some saturation or distortion to make the sound beefier. So under effects here, you'll notice that there is no such effect. We have chorusing, delay and reverb, but no saturation option. No worries, we can add in effects on the mixer. So I have the snare sound routed to insert 2 on the mixer. So let's go ahead and insert some effects. I like the fruity wave shaper. Just gives it a little bit more body. Next, let's add some limiting with the fruity limiter. I'll bring the ceiling down. Really squashing the sound now. Maybe a tighter attack and release. Add some input gain. Let's compare with the rough. Not bad. Let's try with a longer release. So the compression is in effect almost throughout the tail of the snare. Let's compare with the DAF. Alright, so I'm happy with that. Now I want to save this as a sample just like the kick drum. I could save the mixer channel strip as a preset. This can be good to save the effects, but obviously it's not going to save the actual sound. We can go into the synth and save the preset in there, which is going to save the sound, but it's not going to save the effects on the mixer. So to create an actual sample, let's load in Edison on the mixer channel, and we can just record it in there. Hit the record button, hit play, and now we have that snare in here. I'll zoom in and make sure we get it exactly to the beginning of the snare hit. I'll cut out some of the tail end. And now we can drag this into the playlist by clicking and dragging from here. And now we have the snare sample. Let's go ahead and save this. I'll choose that same option, make unique, click yes. And I'll save it here in the folder that I created earlier. So that is a snare sound synthesized in FL Studio.